Flipendo, Glacius, Confringo.
I can't believe he's still going on about being kidnapped. His frame's in the library.
Protego.
Bombarda!
Ah, been up to some mischief, I hope. Ah, good to see you. Slain any trolls today? Hello there. Levioso, good to see you around. Make way. Careful now. Do watch yourself.
You go first.
Pardon me.
Hot, very hot. Ugh, if you insist. Give it here. Oh no, not again. Come on, lads. You can't leave me like this all day. I'm no good with Defense Against the Dark Arts. You know that. I'll get them for this. Do you expect me to hop all the way to class? They do. Horrid they are. Horrid. Bullies. Wait till I tell my father. It'll be me laughing then, not as if I can simply go to the library and look up a spell in this state. I'm shivering too much to cast. I can't feel my fingers. Not enough snow to build a snowman with. Why would someone do this to me? You'd think people would have better things to do than conjure snowfalls. Merlin's beard, it's called. I won't stand for this. Oh, about time. This is why I don't play Quidditch. Better a snitch than a bludger, I'd say. Get this thing away from me. Go and torment another common room. Ah! Can you believe some people struggle with simple levitation? Here, watch this. I could probably do this wandless if I wanted to. You might as well watch if you insist on interfering. What? No. Goodness. Look at that. What's this one about? The headmaster. Where's an invisibility cloak when you need one? Ah! Thought you had me, didn't you? Bit slow there, weren't you? If you tell anyone what you saw here, I swear I'll snap your wand. Put me down! All right, that's enough of that. Frozen. Goodness, no! That'll teach you. So cold. Oh no, I'm ablaze! You forced my wand. There's more where that came from. Thought you'd do better than that. Rather annoying. You'll have to try harder than that. Someone's got a knack for gardening. Wait till they hear about this at the Magic Neep. Don't bite me! Rotten charm grinder. Make it stop! What, are you afraid of my wand? Are you quite enjoying yourself? Ah! Horrid things! I don't know what you think you're playing at. Whoa! What? Whoa! Well done indeed. There's a sound I won't soon forget. Riding a graphorn? Amazing. I thought they'd never end. What a remarkably good flyer. Well, you don't see that every day. I can't imagine ever riding one of those beasts. You take your life into your own hands riding a hippogriff. Archie's free, thanks to you. I'll sleep better knowing Rookwood's locked up, thanks to you. I hear the Rookwood gang have a bone to pick. I hear you're to blame for Sallow's detention. Nasty bit of business, that. Anne was hurt so badly that she couldn't attend school. What do you make of that? I suppose I could take a moment to get to know Gaunt too. Retiring for the evening already. I won't forget Imelda's defeat any time soon. Great work. Rumours are swirling about what you and Professor Fig could be up to. Nox. Those foolish goblins. Thought they'd get the best of us. We showed them. Imagine surviving a goblin attack. Most impressive. Huh. Woo! Yeah! Woo! I suppose no one feels the loss of Professor Fig as deeply as you. I'm so sorry. Go on, laugh it up. It'll be you next time. 1 minute Lenora's saying she prefers trolls to people. The next, she's talking to picture frames. Girls, it's that new 5th year. Oh, there goes the snitch again. Oh, you don't need to be frightened, little cat. You're better than that! Yes, but what good is knowledge? When you really think about it. I don't think it's anything special if your family works at the ministry. Makes them a boring lot if you ask me. What does it matter whether we even do our homework? I just want to be a baker on Carnaby Street. I don't think that even requires magic. Madam Scribner doesn't tolerate any nonsense, so I find the library's the best place for concentration, as long as she doesn't hear you breathe. Well, I had a friend who once went to a muggle doctor. It's the truth. She'd fallen over in Piccadilly Circus visiting a relative. It would be far more enjoyable if the prefect stayed out of the common rooms. Should get rid of the lot of them. Anyone in the wizarding world could outdo the best a muggle has to offer any day. Someone was sat by the fire in our common room the other day with steam coming out of their ears. As long as I get some sleep, I don't mind what anyone gets up to. The dormitory should be a place where rules don't apply. I've been sending owls to my mother, pleading with her to send my favourite nightshirt. There's only one common room that everyone wishes they could get in, and that's Hufflepuff. Been that way for 1,000 years. or so Garlic says. I tried to send a note to someone I like. If only I hadn't done it in potions. Well, one can't argue with that. Since when should it matter what anyone looks like? Surely it's about cleverness? Or wealth? If those bouncing bulbs get big, they can be quite strong. I'd keep an eye you don't get one that's too mature, or you'll be having to cast the fire-making spell, and I'm sure that won't go over well if Garlic tells Black. I've never had difficulties with bouncing bulbs. Simple knockback jinx on hand's all you need. If someone wouldn't mind letting me know when the class bout fertilizer's coming up, I'd be very grateful. That's one I shall definitely feign a bit of dragonpox for. Do you think I have a big forehead? You can be honest. I wonder what it was like in Hogsmeade before 1714. I'd imagine things were far less orderly. Anyone been into Albie Weeks' shop lately? I'm always looking for an excuse to go to Spintwitch's, even if I can't afford a new broom. I don't know why Sharp's always referring to standard ingredients. Nothing is standard. Who's walking around with mistletoe berries? Can't somebody let me copy their potions homework? I'm at least moderately good at charms, and I promise I'll let you copy mine. I'm just saying, you'd think she was the pioneer of the Wizarding School's Potions Championship the way she carries herself. And she's a first year. No need to look at me like that. And I know what you're about to say, so you can hold your tongue. I do not talk about her all the time. You haven't seen her about, have you? Speaking of astronomy, I'm surprised you're not fixated on Venus, the amount of time you spend talking about to meet the car. I'd take having a parent who's good with pancakes any day. And on account of the statue and all, they had to take her to a Dr. Malcolm. She had a bandage all up to her knee. It's so much better when it gets dark earlier. I'd spend all night in that astronomy tower if they'd let me. How can you not be absolutely fascinated with the stars? I should let Shah adopt me. Can you imagine? Was only a scratch, she said. Can't be very strong, can they, Muggles? Oh. A third year had put pepper-up potion in their butterbeer in Hogsmeade. I found the whole thing quite marvellous. Do you know what she said? She's letting the dog sleep on it because it stops her whining. The both of us ended up in detention, which was divine. Only someone said I look like a remora, and I think it's to do with my forehead. Pfft. I certainly won't be worrying if I have a spot on my nose. No student would dare wander in here. Not on my watch. If that were a student, they'd have been sorry. What trickery are you up to? You are to be remanded at once. I wouldn't be a prefect if I didn't enforce the rules. That had better not be another student, I hear. Glad I didn't bet on that round. Not sure we should study for the astronomy exam in the library. Might be better off outdoors where we can see the stars. Professor Hecat is an enigma. I think she used to work for the ministry. Wonder how she ended up here. It's astonishing what one can learn when keeping one's mouth shut in the common room. People feel at liberty to talk about anything there. Even if I knew how to get into the other common rooms, I wouldn't bother. There's a reason I was sorted into my house. I haven't slept in days. Martin snores like a mountain troll. It's astonishing to me that the 5 lads I share a dorm with don't accumulate half the mess my one sister makes at home. I accidentally dropped a flobberworm down my robes and potions once. You'd think I'd been hit with Tarantallegra the way I was prancing. Mortifying it was. I was a late bloomer. My parents thought I was going to be a squib. Family still tease me about it. Something so peaceful about tending to magical plants. Venomous Tentacular being a notable exception. I could wander the greenhouses for hours. Just need to avoid the Venomous Tentacular and the Devil's Snare. I could spend all my galleons at Honeydukes, and just on fizzing Whizbees. If I had to pick a favourite professor, I'd choose Garlic. Underneath that chipper persona lies a brilliant herbological mind. How can one not fancy Professor Garlic? She's brilliant with plants and her energy is captivating. I'm glad I don't have to stay in the castle for the holidays. I find the moving staircases unnerving when no one's around. All of my siblings have finished at Hogwarts. Nice to be here on my own for once. I miss playing gobstones on the kitchen floor with my cousins. Not the same here in the courtyard. Have you been in any other common rooms? I'd love to know what it's like to be in another house, just for a day. The portraits in the castle don't always have something interesting to say, but many of them do chatter on nonetheless. Have you ever been to the kitchens? I hear it's run by house elves. I hear Feldcroft's been getting attacked by Ranrock's loyalists. You'll not find me there anytime soon. Why do we even have flying if Professor Black cancelled Quidditch? I could just have a butterbeer from the 3 broomsticks right now, and a chat with Sirona. Both are excellent tonics. Albie Weeks from Spintwitches has such interesting notions about how to improve brooms. Knows his stuff, he does that one. I was going to try out for the Quidditch team this year. I think I'll go for a quick sprint on my broom after class tonight. I find it helps stimulate my mind, especially if we've had a class with Professor Binns. Everyone falls off their broom at least once. You just have to get back on. What was the ministry thinking, putting Black in charge of a bunch of children? He hates children. Nothing beats a leisurely evening flight. Hogwarts hasn't been the same since Black took over. Lucky for us, we have Professor Weasley. I wish there was something I could do to stand up to the headmaster. Likely best to keep my head down till I finish up here. My mother sent me a howler after I got a paw on my transfiguration owl. Without a doubt, one of the most embarrassing moments of my life. I don't send many owls to myself, but it is nice to get them. What? Don't look at me like that. Owls fascinate me. They have a lot of responsibility in the wizarding world. Imagine all the walking we'd have to do if we didn't have owls to deliver our post. There are a few students here I'd like to send a howler to. Sometimes I wish someone would transfigure me into a squirrel. Then I wouldn't have to worry about doing schoolwork anymore. Transfiguration's far too difficult for me. Much prefer potions. I like to have a recipe to follow. Why does the ministry require animagi to register themselves? Seems most intrusive to me. I tried transforming a rabbit into a dinner plate the other day. Ended up with a platter that had long ears. Disaster. Not a chance. I'm not risking my neck to help her. Hope they're holding on tight. Someone's been paying attention in Madame Kagawa's class. I never thought someone would ever best Imelda's time. Who'd ever choose to travel by Graphorn? To think, I just saw Fig a few days ago. You do know it's called sleepwear for a reason. So glad I wasn't in the village when the trolls attacked. Congratulations! Lucan told me the good news. I trust Ranrock's loyalists won't be bothering the school ever again. If it isn't the Summoner's Court champion! You and Poppy must be saving loads of beasts together. Only a proper flying ace could beat Imelda's record 3 times. Where's your new friend Natty? Wonder what it's like being friends with Sebastian. Surprised Amit has time for friends. He's always studying. Nice to see Imelda making friends for a change. Looks like Everett found someone to help him with his schemes. Ferdinand does add a bit of colour to the 3 broomsticks. Good on you for stopping that troll. Did Serona get rid of Ferdinand? Where in Merlin's name did you learn to cast that? Poor Ferdinand. The Hogshead of all places. Those old locks can be tricky. Don't know where we'd be if Ranrock had succeeded. I can't remember the last time Sebastian lost a duel.
Flipendo!
The bells are ringing again. How delightful. Don't mind me.
Glacius!
Who's going to clean all that up?
Confringo! Protego!
Bombarda!
Levioso! Confringo!
Flipendo! For a piece of art, he really does make you want to throw him in a well.
Protego! Greetings! It's always good to see you. Now there's a friendly face. Ah, here's the best and brightest. Seeing you has greatly improved my day. Greetings. Well met. Hello. I hope you're well.
Absolutely not. You go first.
Ah, good to see you.
Haha, my turn. How do you feel, stupid bullies? I keep making it worse. I can't recall the charm to stop the snowfall, if there is one. Just my luck I don't know any weather spells. Now my socks are wet. I'd give anything for a hot butterbeer. My wand's probably too frozen to cast a spell. Ah! And me without my best winter coat. At least it can't get any worse than this. Can it? I'm not sure I'm still breathing. Is this what a Dementor's kiss feels like? Is it over? Finally. Is the snitch this annoying during matches too? All right. Which of you jokers let the snitch loose in here? No wonder everyone wants to catch it. Ah! If I see this thing again, I'm calling a prefect. It's not as if it's hard to lift something in the air. Swish and flick. Who even cares? Let's see the professor try and do this. I'm just trying to practice. I'm sure I'll have it soon. Whoops. I hate charms. That Peeves is going to set us all on fire. Be on alert. Professor Black's on patrol. Where's the headmaster off to in such a hurry? What have we got here then, eh? Ah!
Missed! Oh, so close! I don't like this at all. Put me down or we shall have words. Ah! You've set me alight! Quick, put me out! Soon cut you down to size. I feel like a yeti. Any cutting remarks? I hope you felt that. I prefer roses myself. Ha! You'll have to do better than that. I barely felt that. It'll take more than that. Somebody's been raiding the greenhouse. Put it back in the soil. It's worse than bagpipes. That was mine. Control your greens. How rude. I'm feeling a bit sick. I'm not one for greens. What are you doing? Stop this. Could you please see to putting me back down? Soon make compost of you. I see someone's been paying attention in flying. Blasted shrubs. Can't go wrong with a broom. Riding a Graphorn. Well, now I've seen everything. See that you don't trample anyone with that thing. I don't think the ministry sanctioned hippogriffs for transportation. Is that a tame hippogriff? Ugh, that was unnecessary. What's Archie Bickle up to since you rescued him? Good of you to rescue that hippogriff from the Rookwoods. I can't imagine what they had in store for it.
Good to see Rabe safe again.
It must be very hard for Ansallo. Being away from school for this long, it's only fitting that Sebastian gets detention. This isn't the first time he's been sneaking in the restricted section. Don't blame yourself. Rookwood's not to be trifled with. But that didn't stop you from bringing him to justice. What do you think of Gaunt then? Saw you talking. Have you no sense of decorum? Your first year and you've already beat Imelda Reyes in a broom race. Who's next, the Chudley Cannons? Professor Fig was a true teacher. He'll be sorely missed. You and Fig seem quite close. Is he tutoring you? If goblins had attacked me, I'd have just legged it out of there. If goblins learned one thing, it's that Hogwarts colours don't run.
Can you imagine one with Black's face on it? I'd pay good money for one of those. Take a look at that beauty.
They're lucky they didn't end up as dragon food, like that poor man from the ministry.
Lenora talks for ages to an empty frame, but can't spare 1 minute to talk to me. Come on, he went that way. Come on down, Kitty. Come on.
That girl thinks she can get away with anything. I hope a professor catches her this time. Nellie will do anything for attention.
Is that all you've got? I'd never have a harsh word to say about Hogwarts. I, for one, could stay here forever. Better than where I'm from. Sometimes you can find some quite interesting things in the library.
Who does Nellie think she is, anyway?
I just wish they'd hurry up and assign the essay on werewolves. When are we getting to that? Bravery runs in my family. I've never even cried. Even when my brother put a Grindylow in my bed. Possibly a bit of crying, but no tears. Fear is weakness. I never feel fear. You're brave though, aren't you? I've seen you in herbology. You're a conqueror with those mandrakes. Yes, but if we had a round of gobstones in the common room, it'd save us catching cold outside. I'd be glad if they let us convene at the Three Broomsticks instead. You can always tell the first-year Hufflepuffs reek of vinegar. I'm not entirely in agreement with what you're saying, but I do see your point. You certainly sound like you have an opinion on this. Woolly jumpers are a nightmare for getting in the trunk. And if you put your shoes in there as well, the smell. I haven't been feeling myself at all. I'd swear someone put Glumbumble treacle in my tea. When Howin said draw a thestral, how was I to know you don't draw it next to a dead body? And why is she always holding his hand? I've seen them. I'm not looking forward at all to learning about the Snargaluff. There's a reason that thing has thorns. Personally, I think if the thing you're best at is herbology, it means you're soft-hearted. Perhaps you can meet me after herbology and show me how I'm supposed to do that thing with the soil? I'm sure Garlic wouldn't mind us going to one of the greenhouses to practice. My house broom will do me fine for a while, I'm sure. My parents keep promising me something to make up for the fact that they spoil my sister rotten. I think we'll just tell them to kit me out with a wind wisp from Spintwitches and we'll call it even. I'm saving up for a new broom. Reckon I'll be going for the Yew-Weaver, or possibly a Silver Arrow. Albie Weeks says he'll give me a good price on one too. Have you ever noticed in potions that the girl who sits in the corner almost always nearly melts her cauldron? I find it quite disconcerting, and Sharp doesn't even raise an eyebrow. Yet I drop one nettle too many and I get the stare of the basilisk. Do you find it hard to get the right consistency in a confusing concoction? I can never get mine to thicken. I'd swear we'd be more uplifted in potions if it were taught by Dementors. I was only looking up a reference for garlic, and I found a fascinating book on self-fertilizing shrubs. It was perfect for stargazing the other night. Not a cloud in the sky. I've never seen the heavens so clear. Do you think that's a bad omen? Do you think if we asked Shah, she'd let us go up earlier to the astronomy tower? I bet she would. She lives for it. Much more fun than the common room, and no one tells you off if you spill something. You could drop me in the middle of Rookwood's Sunday dinner and I'd stare him straight in the eyes and ask for gravy. Mind you, if you leave your shoes under your bed, I suppose that can cause a bit of a whiff too. Why are you looking at me like that? Yes, I do think Sorona's very nice. What of it? It's as if I'm drowning in a lecture from bins. Think no one's noticing them squeezed at the same desk? What? Of course I don't care. Must have been a ghost. Likely Peeves playing tricks again. I hope. I heard that Professor Binns died one night and showed up to class the next morning as if nothing had happened. I don't think he even knows he's a ghost. Caught you sneaking about, didn't I? Spying on the professors, are we? As a Muggleborn, I used to feel I had a lot of work to do if I wanted to catch up to the other students. Now I realise that no particular group of wizards has the monopoly on skill. The faculty tower is off limits to students. If I catch a student in here, punitive measures will be taken. I don't mind living in dormitories. No parents around nagging me to pick up my robes. I like sitting around the fire in the common room after a long day, especially if we've had potions. Much cosier than the Great Hall. I'd imagine the Hufflepuff common room smells the most delicious on account of it being so close to the kitchens. I've taken to studying during the day in our dormitory. No one's there and I can practice my cast to my heart's content. I was trapped on the grand staircase once. Every time I tried to step off, it moved again. Still haven't lived that down. I dropped one of the crystal balls in divination. Shattered everywhere. I was mortified. I will say that Professor and I seemed much calmer than I expected. Still, not ideal. I prefer the 3 broomsticks to the Hogshead. Sirona's a much better conversationalist than Jasper Trout. Can you eat a Chinese chomping cabbage? Not that I'm going to find out, mind you. Can't seem to get the smell of dragon dung out of my robes after that last herbology class. Suppose it's better than stink sap, but not by much. Yes, Professor Binns does drone on a bit. But have you ever got him really talking about goblin rebellions? Knows everything. Still boring, but impressive. Ronan certainly employs creative teaching methods. While I don't always enjoy his games, I can admire the enthusiasm. Rumour has it there's a secret passage leading to Hogsmeade, but I haven't found it. Probably for the best. I'd be at the 3 broomsticks all day. My family has a gobstones tournament every year. Bit chaotic, but loads of fun. My mother is so excited for me to come home for the holidays. She's written to me nearly every day. The family owl's exhausted. My little sisters will be so happy to see me over the holidays. They madly try to cast spells at me with their toy wands. Mildly annoying. Wish I could sneak into the other common rooms. Just for an hour or so. Why would Slytherin put his common room in the dungeons? So dreary. Perhaps that's the point. It must be difficult to live in those remote hamlets with the Ashwinders running about. Rumour has it there's an abandoned manor near Bargantine. No one knows what happened to the family. Think I'll stay close to the castle. Is Lower Hogsfield still dealing with that nasty goblin? Can't have been good for business. I don't like flying on a broom. I prefer the safety of a thestral-drawn carriage. Nothing wrong with that. Broomsticks are going out of style, I think. So many other ways to travel now. Do you suppose Black's children are as condescending and ill-tempered as he is? How in the world did people ride broomsticks before the invention of the cushioning charm? Does Professor Black have children of his own? Poor things if he does. I wonder why Madame Kagawa didn't become a professional Quidditch player. What if she's not actually that good? I want to play Quidditch professionally when I'm older. I'd make a marvellous chaser. The headmaster hates everyone who isn't a pure-blood Slytherin. Human transfiguration is dangerous. Charlotte Morrison had to go to the hospital wing last year. Got stuck with fox ears. Improvement, I thought. My little brother sends me letters chock full of questions about Hogwarts. Merlin help us when he starts here next year. Have you ever wondered how owls know where to deliver their letters? Magic, I suppose. I need to stop by the owlery. Far too long since I've sent a letter home. It's a good thing the owlery is away from the rest of the school. Quite the aroma in there. I wonder what animal I'd be if I was an animagus. Wouldn't mind being a cat. Or an orumpent. Transfiguration has always come easily to me. I suppose some minds are more suited to it than others. Arthur Siggs tried conjuring a pillow the other day. Ended up with a hedgehog. Not terribly comfortable to sleep on, I'd imagine. She's worse than my cat. Arthur's always got some intriguing project or another going on. I can barely follow divination homework, let alone a treasure map. I'd take to the skies too if I didn't have such a fear of heights. It seems you've got quite comfortable here. That's a majestic manner of travel. I know that Fig teaches magical theory, but theoretically, does anyone take it? Poor Professor Fig. I didn't know him well, but he always greeted me kindly in the halls. Ranrock's loyalists never stood a chance. Wasn't worried for an instant. Think I'll steer clear of Hogsmeade for a bit. Not fond of trolls. I heard you did quite well in Brattleby's dueling club. Poppy's really got away with beasts, doesn't she? I don't think even Professor Ronan expected anyone to be so good at Summoner's Court. I like Sebastian, but I always feel as if his mind is somewhere else. Well done putting Imelda in her place. And in her own time trials, no less. I'm always astonished at how much Amit knows about a variety of things. Well read, that one. I've heard Natty talk about Wagadu. Sounds like a fascinating place. Imelda doesn't usually make, friends. I hear you've become friends. Or should I say, accomplices, with Everett. I'll be wary of you two. You really showed that troll what's what, didn't you? Perhaps I'll go to the Hog's Head. Throw something at Ferdinand in his new location. Thanks to you. I think even Sirona's patience is tested by having Ferdinand's portrait back at the 3 broomsticks. I wouldn't let people see you practicing such magic. Not everyone would be as understanding. Perhaps it's locked for a reason. The Three Broomsticks is so much more pleasant without Ferdinand. Never thought I'd witness Sebastian lose a duel. I don't know how you did what you did to save Hogwarts, but I'm awfully glad you did it. Lovely to have the bells back in the music room. Don't mind me. A little vandalism always does wonders for my mood.
Flipendo! Flipendo! Bombarda! Flipendo! Bombarda!
Flipendo, Glacius, Protego, Levioso, Bombarda, Confringo.
You look marvellous. My absolute favourite person in school. Always a pleasure and a delight to see you. Hello, my dear friend. You're looking well, as usual. Greetings. Hello.
Haven't we enough chaos without Peeves? Appalling behaviour. I bet Durmstrang students don't have to put up with this kind of stupidity. If you singe my robes, Peeves.
How goes it? Hello there.
Pleasant bit of magic, isn't it? Goodness, it's the headmaster. Watch yourself, it's the headmaster. I wonder how it all works. Don't press your luck. Put me out. Useless aim. You think this is funny? Perhaps you might set me down, Moonmind. Do you like that? Oh, my clothes. My lips won't move. Barely felt a thing. This is not good for my constitution. Ha! I'll do it again. A bit sharp, isn't it? You call that an attack? A mere tickle. Oh, I can't take it anymore. Nice use of foliage. Oh, my ears. Keep your plants off me. I pulled weeds bigger than you. Charming. Why, you cheeky little charm grinder. I'm all right. In your own time. Would you mind putting me back down? Oh, what's happening? Professor Garlick would not approve of this. No! It's the choir of death. Next time it shrieks, I shall bake the thing. I'd take flying over walking any day. Not bad. Isn't a broom good enough? Oh, I'm just out and about riding a grap horn. Mind that it doesn't drop you. Riding a hippogriff's all well and good till it throws you. You showed Rookwood, didn't you? Got that hippogriff free. Archie Bickle's in fine fettle thanks to you. The Dementors can have Rookwood now. Well done. Abril's out of Rookwood hands thanks to you. Striking up a friendship with Gaunt, are we? Nice of you to dress up. Why would you want to spend so much time with Fig? Do you feel sorry for him? And Sallow hasn't been to school in ages. Poor girl. When is Sebastian going to learn to stay away from the restricted section? He deserves attention. So I know the race never happened, but nice one. No goblin army could ever tear these walls down. Professor Fig was a good teacher, though I'm not quite sure what he taught. Hey! Woo! Woo! Hey! Hey! Woo! Woo! Hey! Hey! Yeah! You make it so tempting. How many times have we done this now? Well, only one way to learn: experience. Oh! Too many to count. You really need to keep your guard up. I wonder where they're from. Oh, nothing yet. What are you doing? Are you mad? I really hope we get to see, or at least hear one today. What do you think mermaids look like? Do you think they're hiding from us? That reminds me. Did Scribner say we could borrow the book overnight? Or that we'd get detention if we had it out overnight? I'm still struggling with antidotes. It's startling to me that so many of them use mandrakes. I'll be sure never to go into that line of work. Oh, there goes my wager. The people I feel sorry for are the ones who don't receive any owls. Poor things. Have you seen their little faces at the table? It all baffles me. Take Moonstone. Whoever came up with using Moonstone in a potion? Obviously Hogwarts is the best wizarding school in the world. Everybody knows that. Of course we're going to be the best at magic. If anyone needs help with an essay or assignment, I don't mind lending a hand. I wrote 2 inches for bins yesterday while I was eating my lunch. My great aunt was a Hufflepuff. She says it's the best common room on account of it being so quiet. Compared to the others, I mean. That poor first year trying to get into the Gryffindor common room. I swear the fat lady was having them on. Poor thing had to wait till next day. People are always fussing about in my common room. Someone was trying to come up with some sort of pepper hex the other day. I'd been collecting Chispurple fangs the entire term. Then I thought I'd be clever and simply keep a few Chispurples. I'm uncomfortable with the size of my legs. Well, you were asking the other day, so I'm telling you. I like to keep a bit of Wiggenweld potion under my bed.
not naming names, but someone's bought a few too many tricks from Zonko's. My father said he used to hide his schoolwork under his bed. Try working with a wand that's been passed down from 3 unruly sisters. I took my copy of 1000 Magical Herbs and Fungi to Herbology and I left it in the greenhouse by the mandrake seedlings. Sharp was horrified I didn't have it for his class. Said I need to get my priorities straight. Well, my father naturally assumed I'd be a strong seeker just like him. I say thank Merlin Quidditch was cancelled. Any of you know where I can find some leaping toadstools? Why won't she just let us use gillyweed? What's the point of even learning about herbology if we can't get ourselves into some trouble with gillyweed? If I haven't personally met a mermaid by the end of term, I can tell you I shan't be happy. Did you get your Bitterroot from Pippin's or did you pick it yourself? I'm desperately in need of some. I find if I try to look attentive in potions, it seems to keep Sharp off my back. It works quite well unless he asks me a question, and then it's not really a good plan at all. Overall, I probably wouldn't recommend it. Parry Pippin certainly steered me right with that wound cleaning potion. His potion shop's better than you'd find in London, I reckon. I heard some chatter near the girls' lavatory about boomslang skin. Do you think they're looking to brew a polyjuice potion? Oh, what if they already brewed one? And Sharp's actually that Hufflepuff girl with the long arms. I suppose I'd be curious about a beautification potion. What? Not for me, Moonmind. For a friend of mine. Don't be stupid. You should hear Shah talking about divination. It's a wonder Onai's ears don't catch a light. What's to say stars know more than cards, I say? How do you look at a rock and say, oh, I think I'll drink that? Almost makes you want to send them one just to give them a thrill. Me, I'm dripping with owls. I don't mind saying that I find it hard to comprehend that Black has a wife. What sort of witch would take that man's hand in marriage? I suppose on the other hand it means there's hope for us lot. Those French don't even hold their wands right, so I don't know what they're teaching at bow buttons. Oh! You must know more about Hogwarts than Professor Binns. Where's the brain? Couldn't stop sneezing for hours. Is there anywhere in Hogwarts you haven't explored? I thought I was a good duelist, but I wouldn't dare cross you. I'd imagine Howin's impressed with your beast's talents. Professor Shah must be well impressed with your dedication to those astronomy tables. I've never won a broom race in my life. I hope you're keeping Sebastian out of trouble. Remind me to never challenge you to an Accio ball competition. I'm glad our meet has a friend like you. You and Natty are quite close, aren't you? You seem to have taken an interest in Poppy. You've certainly been spending a lot of time with Imelda. Everett is a fine friend to have. I heard you got caught up in that Hogsmeade attack. Congratulations on your House Cup win. I'd stay away from the music room. Unless you want to be driven mad by the sound of bells. Once a coward, always a coward. Just ask Duncan Hobhouse. You didn't have to bring Ferdinand back to the pub. Duncan owes his reputation to you. Ugh. Wonderful. Ferdinand's back. Now that Ferdinand's at the Hogshead, I've even less reason to go there. I never go to the Hogshead, so I'm glad Ferdinand's there now. Very brave of you to fight for Hogwarts. Ferdinand was so annoying. He deserved to have his portrait destroyed. It was brilliant how you defeated Sallow in that duel. Well, I suppose we won't have to listen to Ferdinand anymore. It was brilliant how you defeated Sallow in that duel. Where did you and Poppy run off to? Oh, almost got me expelled, that did. What's the harm, I thought. Oh, you've never had a night's sleep like I had when they all ran amok in my bed. Where did you and Poppy run off to? I feel like it'd serve me better planted in a pot. Said there was always some student or another in his house who'd want to be copying it. They swell sometimes. My father used to say that I looked part rampant. It's not funny. Oh! If I transfigure my poor toad into a goblet one more time, I think he's going to insist he stay that way. Professor Howin's going to quiz us on rare water beasts next week. Can't wait to tell her I actually saw a Kelpian island over the summer. Don't know why the common rooms all have secret ways of entering. Who wants to go into someone else's common room anyway? We were sorted for a reason. Our dorm's atrocious. I do wish people would clean up after themselves once in a while. A Bunderman destroyed my homework last night. And it was potions. Someone's parents sent homemade cauldron cakes, and they shared them in the common room. Think they mistook salt for sugar, mind you. Half-eaten cakes everywhere for days there were. My side of the dormitory is always spotless. Can't say the same for my housemates. If I didn't know better, I'd say they were raised by trolls. Sharp caught me making faces behind his back. It was awful. Not to mention losing so many house points. Going to harvest some knotgrass from the greenhouses today. Did you know that it's used in Polyjuice Potion? Think it has something to do with being tied to another person. I need to get some dragonhide gloves for herbology. I refuse to handle Chinese chomping cabbages with bare hands. I was distracted by Peeves and ran face first into Adelaide Oaks the other day. Our books went flying. I think it made Peeves' entire week. This is my sister's first year at Hogwarts. Every time she pretends not to see me in the halls, I cast at her with the trip jinx. I'd like to open a shop in Hogsmeade myself one day. Glad rags could do with some competition. I hadn't met any of my cousins until I came to Hogwarts, and found out we were sorted into the same house. Everyone seems to fear Professor Sharp, not me. I think the man's brilliant. Only barked at me twice this week for singeing my ropes. Wonder how Sharp injured his leg. I'd wager it was something to do with his time as an aura. My friends and I like to spend our evenings watching the sunset from the Quidditch pitch. That's all the pitch is good for this year, sadly. This is the first year my siblings and I are all at Hogwarts together. Our poor mother doesn't know what to do with her time, so she knits. Sends us each a new jumper every week. I was trapped on the grand staircase for an hour the other day waiting for it to move. Sharp didn't believe me when I told him why I was late. Have you been to the owlery lately? House elves have fallen a bit behind in cleaning this week. I'd like to retire to Hogsmeade one day. Open a pub. Bore future Hogwarts pupils with tales of my childhood. I heard an ex-aura lives in a hamlet outside of Hogsmeade. Think I'd want a quiet life too after years fighting dark wizards. I met some of my best friends in flying. Nothing creates a bond like thinking you're all about to die. Any news about the dragon near Pitterpond Ford? Be enough to make me move, to be honest. I practiced doing a loop-de-loop on my broom all summer. What a waste of time. I miss going to matches. Cheering everyone on was magnificent fun. And getting to see Isaac Cooper. The Chudley Cannons are going to be unbeatable next season. You just wait and see. Professor Weasley must be exhausted doing her job as well as the headmaster's. We're lucky to have her. Professor Black glanced at me the other day in the Great Hall. I spit out my breakfast. Not sure it sent the right message. My brother promised me his old broomstick once he's saved up for a new one. I can't wait. Wish I'd brought a pet owl to school. Don't misunderstand, I adore my toad. At least somewhat. Don't suppose you want a toad? I used to write to my parents every week. Now I can't remember the last time I sent them an owl. Wonder if they know I'm still alive. It's good Black's children are too young to attend Hogwarts. I'd hate it if my father was headmaster. Do all of the professors have their own owls? I imagine they must send a lot of letters. Likely to the ministry. So many letters arrive every day, and none of them is ever for me. I rather enjoy Transfiguration myself. The complexity, the precise nature of it, truly something to be admired. Professor Weasley is a marvellous teacher. Never requires us to write more inches of parchment on a topic than necessary. If I can just stop vanishing my notes when practicing Evanesco, I think I can get an O on my Transfiguration OWL this year. Professor Weasley's already preparing me to take my Transfiguration NEWT. Well, if it isn't Bobsky and Dunkeen. Those were hidden away for a reason. I hear Plumley found some old maps lying about. Thinks there's treasure at Hogwarts. These time trials are as exciting as Imelda said. My father always said I may have to stand up to a troll one day. I never could, though. I used to keep a goblin artifact in my room at home. I should be taking that down now after what Ranrock and his lot have done. Awful. Just curious, were you born with a broom? Bet Imelda's livid. Very good form you had at Summoner's Court. Wish I was half as good. Wish I had your skill. I'm like a drowned billywig at Cross Swans, I am. I'd spend more time with Natty myself, except I'm a bit afraid of her mother. He's a dark horse, Sebastian. Always feel like he's hiding something. I'd watch out if I were you. Bet you're picking up all sorts of flying tips from Imelda. Lucky thing. We'll have to get you a pen the amount of time you're spending with Poppy. Put you in with the measles. Mind you don't get into too much trouble with Everett. Expulsion seems to hold no fear with that lad. I hope you're around if trolls ever come about me. Glad you found yourself a good pal. Nice chap I'll meet, always liked him. You're the one who hung Ferdy back at the Three Broomsticks, aren't you? Probably a good thing, or we'd never hear the end of it. You put Ferdy at the Hogshead, didn't you? Must be his worst nightmare. I hope you're around the next time I lose the key to my trunk. Oh, you shouldn't be using that sort of magic. You'll get into a lot of trouble for that. Ha! You're the one who's left Ferdy without a holiday home. Or frame, I should say. Poor chap must be livid. I can hardly sleep now, thinking what would have become of this school without you. Brave one you are. My father would be so impressed if it was me that had beat Sebastian in that duel. Nice one. Oh, don't do that. That's not necessary. Don't mind me.
I see that you don't. Ha! Heard the bells ringing again. Black must be up in arms. Remind him of his wedding day, apparently. Flipendo. Hey! Woo-woo! Woo! Woo! Flipendo. Levioso. Levioso. Protego. Protego. Confringo. Confringo.
Levioso! Protego! Flipendo!
A pleasure to see you. Good to see you.
Confringo! Bombarda!
Happy to see you, my friend. Haven't seen your face in a while. Hello. How have you been? Greetings. Hogwarts is a fine school, don't you think? Hello there. Studying hard? Having a pleasant time at school?
Well done. Too many to count.
Don't make me have to get a prefect.
Or, I've an idea. Learn the counter curse. Experience. You miserable... Ugh. Gave me the fright of my life, you did. Someone ought to haunt him for a change. I wish I could thank whoever's behind Ferdinand's misfortune. Oh, close one. Do not make eye contact with the headmaster. Why's the headmaster rushing about? A near hit. Are you enjoying yourself? I prefer the ground. Don't suppose I could get a cup of tea? You'll turn me to ashes. Bet that'll be sore. Ice. I'm like ice. There, see how you like that. Oh, you'll want a bandage for that. Blazes! Just a scratch. Just a sting. I'll have no more of that. Wouldn't something less leafy have been better? Mind your lettuce. Put it in the pot. Put it away. I'll soon prune you. That's mine if you don't mind. Excuse me. I have better things to do if you don't mind. You've had your fun, now put me down. This is not very nice. What a horrid plant. Oh, Merlin's nose hair. I thought I'd go deaf. What are you doing? What? I can't hear. Mind where you're going. Safe flying. See that you don't trample anyone I know. I didn't know you were allowed to ride hippogriffs. Huh. What a brilliant way to fly around. Well done rescuing Archie and all. I see that kidnapped hippogriff's flying free again, thanks to you. That was very brave of you, rescuing Isco. I heard what you did to old Rookwood. Good riddance, I say. Awful luck about Sebastian. Detention for sneaking into the restricted section again. I see you've been chumming about with Ominous Gaunt. Poor Anne Sallow. I wonder when we'll see her at school again. Did I just see what I think I saw? Dressed for the ball, I see. I thought Imelda was unbeatable on a broom until you showed up. Are you doing some sort of extracurricular work for Fig? That poltergeist is an absolute menace. Goblins will pay for what they did to our school. Couldn't he throw something a little softer? I just brushed my hair. Can't imagine starting a new school this late. I'm sorry about Professor Fig. I know you two were really close. Get him, Arthur. Yeah! Woohoo! Yeah! Oh, yeah! I ought to find one of those old maps. Might be fun. Look at Nellie. She's not afraid of anything. I can't believe she's doing that. You wouldn't catch me doing that. Come on. I bet all the answers to everything are in the restricted section. I think it should be a special treat in Year 5 that you get to go into it. Do you think they'd actually bring in a Dementor for defense against the dark arts? What better way to learn, I say. Do you ever wish you could ride a hippogriff? I've ridden one, of course. Several, in fact. I just wondered if you knew what it was like. Last week, I performed a knee reversal hex on a second year. It was an utter triumph. While I remember, don't forget to give me that book on ancient runes. Or in case I don't see you, my uncle knows Kagawa, so I can't imagine I won't get good marks. And my aunt knows Black's wife, so all in all, I'd say I'm well set. My older sister came here. Said she carved her initials into the fireplace of our common room, but I think she made it up. I tried to hide a puffskein once, in the corner of the common room. Every time I'm there, everyone falls asleep. I don't think that's what a common room is for. I haven't slept well for ages. I miss my pillow from home. What? Nothing wrong with that. We have the most annoying of all the prefects, I swear. I wish they'd allow us our pets from home. We have a crop called mange. I was always in trouble, I was. Always something broken in the garden. Ornaments, torn up lawn. We had a ghoul in our attic. Groaned all the time. Quite the nuisance. Still, we never had spiders. I've been meaning to ask you, you wouldn't have an extra quill I could borrow, would you? If we were simply taught antidotes to common poisons, I truly think that would be enough to get us through life. I'll trade you a spoon's worth of flubberworm mucus for a pufferpod. Where did you get your dragonhide gloves? I saw you handling that Snargle off in herbology. You know, my gloves went mysteriously missing. If it's seeds I'm after, I'll always go to the magic neep. I've upset Madam Green one too many times now. She won't soon be welcoming me back to Dogweed and Deathcap. I wouldn't bother yourself about that. If I were you, I'd be more inclined to acquire myself some Bubba pus. I'm sure Garlic could point you in the right direction. Soon get that complexion and better fettle. Why are we only learning all the boring potions? When are we learning Felix Felicis? Knowing Sharp, he'll probably teach it after we've done our exams. I don't find potions bearable at all. And if it's double potions, I question whether I wouldn't just rather be a muggle. I wish they'd let Ronan teach the entire curriculum. Charms is the only class I can stay awake for. Sometimes I'm not fully sure if Ronan's teaching us a spell or having a practice himself. Don't you find? It's genuinely questionable as to whether the man's at Hogwarts to steer the next generation or to become the next Uric the Oddball. She's not the type to carve initials. Except the Quidditch captains, apparently. Have someone leave it on the mantle in the common room. Don't forget, would have been fine if the prefect hadn't found it up their nose one morning. Didn't see the issue myself, but they found it quite offensive. My cousin gave me a room with a fwooper on it, and I want to know what it means. Could mean I'm destined for greatness. Likely that's it. Oh, God, oh. Sleep with me every night, she would. Oh, don't look at me like that. I'm not afraid, if that's what you're thinking. I'll take you on right now. Go on. Where's your wand? It's a wonder they ever have time for actual schoolwork, the amount of time they spend reporting us. And the worst of it was, the whole time it was a Nile that had accidentally come over in my aunt's suitcase from Canada. And you think anyone believed me? I was only trying to feed the thing. I tried an experiment on mine. Nothing of note, but I can tell you, if you go into the girls' lavatory, the scorch mark on the sink was nothing to do with me. What's so fascinating about them? Perhaps one day I'll sign up for a round. I wish Hogwarts would teach us how to become animagi. They do at Wagadoo. I'd be a niffler. Stock up on galleons. Still have a bump on my head from herbology last week. The cotton fell out of my ear during a mandrake lesson. I came to with my head in an upturned plant pot. I tried to imagine the great witches and wizards of the past who once sat in the same chairs as we now get to sit in the common room. Most inspiring. Not the best idea to start a study group with the boys from my dormitory. Now, we never get a break from each other. Honestly, the way some of those Slytherins fawn all over Professor Black, it's embarrassing. Even he seems irritated by it. Then again, what isn't he irritated by? Nothing worse than students practicing jinxes on each other in the common room. Can't take a step for fear of having your legs turn to jelly. I tried doing homework in the dormitory last night, but ended up falling asleep. Those beds are simply too comfortable. I can't wait until I'm a 6th year. Then I won't have to waste my time with herbology anymore. I'll miss Professor Garlic, mind. I fell asleep in Transfiguration once. Professor Weasley woke me up and I had drool all over my wand. Couldn't transfigure my way out of that. My interest in herbology stems solely from my desire to excel in potions. If you can't brew with it, don't grow it, I say. Rumour is, Professor Hecat used to work for the Ministry. Or wonder what she did. I'd spend the entire day in Hogsmeade if I could. My older sisters taught me everything I needed to know about Hogwarts before I stepped foot in the castle, including how to sneak food from in the kitchens. Hogwarts has brought me and my siblings closer together. We've had to rely on each other without having our parents about. My siblings and I have all been sorted into different houses. Came as no surprise to my father. Just when I think I've learnt how to get around the castle, a staircase moves and I'm lost again. Isn't Sebastian Sallow's family from Feldcroft? I would have expected him to be from somewhere more posh. Peeves was in a mood the other day. Tossed my quill right on Scribner's desk. Now I have detention for a week. Got a peek at the prefect's bathroom last year. I'd missed class for a week to soak in that tub. Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village I've ever heard of. I'd die of embarrassment if my mother taught at Hogwarts. Don't know how Natty manages. So many interesting people from all over the world come through Hogsmeade. You never know who you'll meet. Spotted a vampire from Romania last spring. Wish I could afford my own broom from Spintwitches. Spintwitches is my favourite. At least I get to see all the brooms, even if I can't afford one myself. I was destined to be a glorious beater if Quidditch hadn't been cancelled this year. I was. I don't know what Madame Kagawa sees in Imelda Reyes. She's not that good at flying. It's about time Hogwarts put someone like Black in charge. Perhaps now we can stop all these disgusting mudbloods from ruining the school. I'd make a fine keeper, with a bit more practice. I sent a love letter to Imelda Reyes once, but I think she thought I was making fun of her because she's been rude to me ever since. When I said she was outspoken, I meant it as a compliment. My parents were thrilled to hear that Black was being put in charge. Our families have been friends for centuries. If only Black had the power to choose the other professors too. Then we could get rid of muggle-borns like Garlic. I almost bought an owl in Diagon Alley. Went with a cat instead. Odd-coloured eye, and it quite appealed to me. No one sends me owls. I can't remember the last time I got one. Not even on my birthday. I still can't manage to transfigure a match into a needle without catching it on fire. I'd like to send owls, but I have no one to write to. I spent hours trying to conjure a meat pie when I was a first year, only to then find out about Gamp's Law. Such a disappointment. I asked Amit Takar to tutor me in Transfiguration, but he refused. I'm a lost cause. You'd think Cressida would be perfectly fine with the myriad spells we're taught at Hogwarts. I'd like to be a few galleons richer myself. I was worried Transfiguration would be too difficult, but it turns out I have a knack for switching spells. Mother says it's my indecisive nature. Next time I'll not wager on Imelda. Flipendo! Levioso! Flipendo! Protego! Protego! Confringo! Levioso! Confringo!
Flipendo! Protego! Who do you think you are? Peeves? Confringo! Bombarda! Is that really necessary? Show some respect. Levioso! Why are you acting like a troll?
Here comes a person of distinction. I thought I detected greatness. Here comes a winner. You're looking hale and hearty. Hello there. How do you do? Hello. Looking smart.
Knox.
Oh, hello.
Huh.
Nice to see you.
Now this isn't funny!
Headmaster, sir.
Hey! Woo! What have you been practicing on? Streelers? I shall report you for this. I'm right here. Look what you've done!
Fun one, that, isn't it?
Where's my blanket? You vile person! Hey! Woo!
Whoops. Wasn't on purpose. Oh, forgot how sharp that was.
I reckon a puffskein would do more damage. That's a practice shot. Professor Garlic.
This isn't funny.
Just get our wand, did we? Plant the thing! Not clever or funny. Mandrakes!
If you don't mind. Good day, Professor Black.
I'm still going to report you. Learned a new spell, have we? I've been here for long enough now. Put me down. Stop! Give me hawk clumps any day. I won't be had by a bush. Not sure I still have ears.
Remind me not to get on your wrong side.
In a bad mood, are we?
Wonder if I can go that fast.
I thought they'd never stop.
Easy there. I don't think that's necessary.
Looks like they've got the hang of that.
A grap horn? Is that even allowed?
Looking good up there!
Now that's just not sensible at all. Isco Rabe should be buying you a butterbeer after you rescued him. Quite the heroics.
Here Rookwood's with the authorities because of you. Reckon I'll stay out your way. A nice one rescuing little Archie Bickle. Don't think I'd have managed that. Heard you helped Natty rescue a hippogriff. Very good of you to do that. Well done. There's a reason we have brooms.
Sallow has a sister, you know. Ill or something, I heard. Saw you were gone. Don't tell me he's still depressed about being a Slytherin.
Don't worry about Sallow getting in trouble because of you. That lad was born in detention.
I never got to meet Lodgok, but I heard he was a truly honourable goblin. Well done in that broom race. It's about time someone beat Imelda. Bet she felt that. Is Fig trying to get you to work for him or something? Don't you have clothes? I never minded Fig. He was one of the good ones.
Yeah! Yes! I should think Hecate must be thrilled with your skills. Have you used a wand before? What? What are you doing? What is this? Black is going to love hearing about this.
This is not funny.
You've burnt me.
Put me by the fire. Oh, looks like you've hurt yourself.
What was that?
Did a billywig just breathe on me?
Oh dear.
Best get to the hospital wing.
You think you're so powerful.
I think I just felt the mark of pitiful magic.
Do be careful.
Looks like a nasty cut there.
What's next? Daisies? I should be telling Garlic about this. I hate these things. Somebody shut it up. You've nerve, don't you? Do you plan on putting me down? Tell you what, why don't you put me down and I'll make sure you're only expelled. Oh, goodness. They've stopped. What are you doing? Oh. I hope it's dead. You definitely need to work on being more discreet. You can't ride a broom without the express supervision of Madame Kagawa. Oh, look at them, riding about like they own the place. Madame Kagawa is not going to like this at all. Does anyone plan to tell this person that they are not supposed to be riding a grap horn? How very clever. Oh, now that's just ridiculous. Riding a grap horn? It's no one in control of this school. A hippogriff. They think it's acceptable to be riding a hippogriff. Wait till Black hears about this. A hippogriff? They're riding a hippogriff. Well, is anyone going to arrest them? Everyone's talking about how you rescued Archie Bickle. The new student. The new student. Ugh. Did you really get Rookwood taken in? Did you? Is there anyone not talking about how you rescued a hippogriff from Rookwood? Don't see the fuss. I'm sure I could have rescued Isco Rabe, had I been made aware of the situation. Oh, for Merlin's sake, where are your clothes? Sallow's in detention because of you. Not a very good friend, are you? I saw you talking to Gaunt. Nice chap, isn't he? Sallow's sister Anne has some injury. Goblin curse or something. That's why she's not at school. You defeated Imelda Reyes in a broom race? Has Kagawa been secretly coaching you? I can't believe Fig's so interesting that you have to spend so much time with him. Puts me to sleep. I would never have expected Hogwarts to be attacked. Not in all my life. What are you laughing at? You must be sad about Fig. I know you spent a lot of time with him. I don't know what to say, really. Ah! Leave me alone, Peeves. Or I'll call the Baron. Arthur's got you. It's all right. Ugh, always a joy. Did you see the way they just waltzed in at the end of the sorting ceremony last night? I promise you, more teachers nod at you if you're holding a stack of books. I swear it's true. I've been tempted to say I lost my wand just to get out of Weasley's assignments. How's that for transfiguration? I say, teach me everything going. In fact, if Hecate doesn't hurry up and teach me the Imperious Curse, I swear I shall get on that train and go home. I can't believe she's seen a Thestral. And why should I be impressed anyway? Anyone can find a dead person to look at. She's a little liar. I tried a knee reversal hex on that small Hufflepuff. Found it rather boring, although, in all fairness, it only partially worked, which did look awfully strange. I shrunk my mother once. I did? Don't give me that look. You weren't there? Let's be sure we make some time to study later then. The common room's a bit rowdy of late, so I've taken to using the library. I know what you mean. There was a rumour that if you knocked on the barrels in the rhythm of a Christmas carol, you'd get a present. I'd never risk leaving things in the dormitory without a muggle-repelling charm. What? It's highly logical. Someone loaned me a book on the International Confederation of Wizards. I was looking forward to reading it. Last time I saw your dragon high gloves was at the vegetable patch in the greenhouse. Perhaps Garlic picked them up. In Transfiguration, I switched the writing ink with flobberworm mucus. I thought it to be funny, and it was. To me, I suppose one could smuggle a pet into the dormitory if one was willing to use a disillusionment charm. But is it worth it for a common cat? All I can say is, don't look inside my notebooks. I think Garlic puts that venomous tentacular near us deliberately. She does. You see next time. Have you finished your herbology essay? Mine's only about half an inch thick, and I found a black beetle on it. Frankly, I'd rather limit my excursions to Hogsmeade these days. Too much distraction. I should think I'll get outstanding when I do my OWLs. I can sleep through a potions exam and still pass. The only marks you'll be getting in potions will be from singeing your hands all the time on your cauldron. It's clear Ronan would have preferred a life in the theatre. You're not still fretting about your potions essay, are you? Sharp gave me an A, and it was barely half an inch. Madame Kagawa's getting a bit of an easy run of things, isn't she? What with Quidditch being cancelled, invented by the witch whose cabbage patch had a visit from the first ever quaffle, supposedly. Oh, Professor, I turned myself into someone who hasn't done their homework. I highly recommend it when you want an extra serving of cauldron cake. There's nothing they can do. And try to be out when it wears off. It was a complete lie. Just a trick being played by Hufflepuffs. Very disappointing. Gertie Keddle, that was her name. Lived on the edge of a marsh, they say. Takes all sorts. Scribner's got it in for me, but at least the place is quiet. Oh. I don't understand why they're even allowed to attend. How do we know some stray muggleborn isn't on the lookout for ways to bring us all down? You'd be hard-pressed to find a page that didn't feature a unicorn. Well, I can't help that I'm so good at drawing them, but I put it down in the dormitory, and for the life of me I can't find it anywhere now. Why are you smiling? It's going to be a fascinating book. I'm telling you, you could lose your life in herbology. Especially when the teacher's got it in for you. My parents are expecting high marks, and spending time in Zonkos isn't exactly helping the cause, is it? Do you think that's a good omen? You know it does help to look at the thing while you're stirring. The way he conducts himself, well,
I think if you gave him a chance, he'd trade his wand for a top hat. In my blood, my mother says. From her side, at least. I saw her give Black the evil eyes last week. It's a wonder he didn't turn into a quaffle on the spot. Pity more people can't watch the duels. Still, I can tell she's very disappointed about the whole thing. Nothing to be learned at Hogwarts that one cannot learn out in the world. Of course, there's something to be said for eating the house elf's quince pie whilst learning. I can't seem to master the Wiggenweld potion. Perhaps my stirring technique's a bit off. I can't even cast Lumos for 2 seconds to do a bit of late-night reading without my dorm mates getting riled up. Wish our common room was bigger. I can never find enough space to spread out my star charts. They really shouldn't allow food and drinks in the common room. Stepped in a puddle of butterbeer the other day. Better than a failed potion, I suppose. Got called on to read out loud in History of Magic the other day. Stumbled over all the words. Think I even bored bins. And that's saying something. We're going to see who can stay up the latest. Sleeping drafts should ensure my victory. Tried to summon the pepper at dinner last week, and dropped a pudding into our prefect's lap. Not sure who felt it more, me or her. I can appreciate Hogsmeade all year round, but there's nothing like it after a fresh snowfall. Do you think Elizabeth would like a fanged geranium? They're beautiful and terrifying. A bit like her. Thought I'd impress Garlic by showing her my Mimbleless Mimbletonia. Squirted stink sap all over myself. I adore decorating for the holidays. Can never have too many fairy lights, in my opinion. Not sure the fairies would agree, mind. In my opinion, divination is a load of rubbish. Professor Anai seems so logical. I don't understand how she believes the things she teaches. My older brothers were all sorted into Ravenclaw. They're terribly accomplished now. I'll never be able to live up to their achievements. Wouldn't be surprised if Professor Binns bored himself to death with one of his history lectures. My family and I travel somewhere every summer. I'm dying to visit Romania. Would love to see a dragon in the flesh. I wonder how we'd get into Black's office. Not that I'd want to go in, mind you. Well, not if he's there. I should like to retire to a small hamlet when I'm older. One just like Brockborough. Muggle school is so dull compared to Hogwarts. I'd imagine. Never been to a Muggle school myself. Hogwarts is a second home to me. Feeling a bit nostalgic about leaving one day. Apparently Marunweem was having a bit of a poacher problem. I wonder if that's still the case. I adore the hamlets near the coast. They're a bit damp, but ever so picturesque. There are some impressive new brooms at Spintwitches. That Ray's girl thinks she can fly better than anyone. All talk if you ask me. It's time to trade in my Oakshaft 79 for a newer model. Wonder what Kagawa thinks of Quidditch being cancelled. Bet she's fuming. How much longer do you think Black will be headmaster? I have family in America. Wonder if I could transfer to Ilvermorny and come back when he's gone. Good thing Professor Weasley takes her role seriously, since Black clearly has no interest in his. Black noticed the scuff on his shoe the other day, and would not take another step until a house elf polished it away for him. Horrid man. Why would anyone bother sending secret love letters? If you want to win me over, just treat me to a butterbeer at the Three Broomsticks. I sent an anonymous howler to Duncan Hobhouse last year because he kept leaving his dirty clothes all over the dormitory. You should have seen the look on his face. I just know we were finally going to win the Quidditch Cup this year. I don't think owls make very good pets. You can't snuggle up to them the way you can with a cat. I need to catch up on my letter writing. I think my owl's getting cobwebs. My brother caused a lot of trouble in Professor Weasley's class when he was at school. He'd idly wave his wand whilst daydreaming and transfigure someone's book into a beetle. I tried to transfigure my parchment into a blanket. Wanted a little nap. Would have been fine if it hadn't caught fire. You think Gareth Weasley would be better at transfiguration, considering his aunt teaches the thing. Professor Weasley's easily my favourite. Her wand work is exquisite. Are you going to help Zenobia find her gobstones? Someone's got places to be. Vandalism. Really? Couldn't pay me to ride a graphorn. I didn't think you were allowed to wear those outside of bed. I really should ask Professor Fig about his class. Pity about Professor Fig. Who would choose to ride a hippogriff? They've got to smell awful. What would a troll want in Hogsmeade anyway? Crossed wands champion, eh? Never thought Ranrock would be so bold as to attack the school. Can't believe Imelda's managed to make a friend. Perhaps I should make some friends this year. Natty seems nice. Imelda must be losing her touch if someone managed to best her. Sebastian isn't the sort of friend I'd want to have. Where's your new friend Poppy? Must be nice being friends with Amit. Everett's hardly what I'd call respectable company. Watch out! It's the Troll Slayer of Hogsmeade. Next year, I'm winning Summoner's Court champion. Forget your keys, did you? If an Aura were here, they'd put you away for that. Hogwarts will forever be indebted to you. The Hogshead crowd would just love Ferdinand hanging there. Heard you burned Ferdinand's frame. Good one. Sebastian took that dueling loss rather gamely. Really mastered that one, haven't you? Can't believe Ferdinand Pratt got me detention. Why ever did the music room bell stop ringing in the first place? Flipendo! 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 Levioso! Levioso! Protego! Easy. Protego! Protego! Confringo! Confringo!